Hi there guys, it's Adam Martin here. I know you haven't read that title wrong. I am burnt out. I'm going to fully explain what I mean by that because I think burnout can mean a whole lot of different things to different content creators and different creatives in general. And before we start, as ever, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. We'd love to have you aboard. So some of you may be aware that this year, 2025 so far, has been a pretty big year for me in terms of like major life changes. Just to give you a little timeline of events, in the beginning of the new year, January 2025, I was just coming off doing the pantomime back in Doncaster. That was a culmination of 7 or 8 weeks work, and I was still able to get some videos out, including what would have been probably my most viewed video if it hadn't have been absolutely blocked. But I was able to get some stuff out. But then I knew in January a large focus would have to be on moving house, of course, because for anyone who's done it before, it's not something you can just do in a day. To do it properly, you know, to get your furniture in, to get all the little bits and pieces in, to make it your own. It's been an ongoing process, and in some senses it is still ongoing. Even 4 months in, me and Becca, my partner, were still crafting the house in a way as to what we want it to be. We've still got stuff to sort out in various rooms and things like that, but all throughout that time I wanted to try and maintain some structure and some organization with my video making. Now, to be fully transparent with you, I treat this completely as a hobby. I don't like to consider or even call it a job, because in my mind, I think the minute I do that, any sort of, you know, love and enjoyment I have for making videos for you, which I do a lot, will just evaporate entirely. But in January, it was a very interesting position because I was moving home, moving location, in fact, moving cities. And coming here in January, you know, I didn't have a job. As an actor, work can be hard to come by anyway, but I always try and keep my schedule filled with casual jobs I can dip in and out in. You can sort of choose the hours you work and things like that. And upon the move, I didn't have anything set in place. That meant that throughout January and part of February, posting videos on YouTube was my primary source of income. And that was actually quite scary because YouTube is not a consistent platform in terms of earnings. You don't obviously earn a set salary. You earn based on how much your videos are viewed, how much they're clicked, how many ads run on it and stuff like that. It literally fluctuates. And I'd look, even before the move, I'd look at my analytics graph every month, and you know, it's like this. It's a never-ending wave. So I knew I had to be somewhat consistent during the move to try and sort of maintain that balance. When we came to March, some work was finally starting to come through, some other paid work, and I thought I can ease up. And then throughout March, we had a very, very successful month here on the channel. Videos kept popping off like I never would have expected. The video on BBC Select, for example, the video on Channel TV, the video on the 390s BBC channels that didn't do so well. All of them were successes beyond what I could have predicted. And throughout March, they just kept coming. Video after video was doing really well. And it made me think, oh, I can be more consistent. You know, if I keep up with this, then this could really be helpful. And I tried to do that throughout April, and something changed. Now, I don't have any confirmation whether this was a algorithmic thing or if it's just general interest, but throughout April the views dipped quite considerably. Now, I don't often like to chase views or get too involved in numbers or anything like that, but I think any YouTuber or anyone who makes content for YouTube will tell you it can be quite disheartening to see, because every video, of course, you put in just as much time or just as much effort or just as much passion into, and sometimes they don't hit, and that's completely okay. But after such a successful March, it was kind of a bummer to see in April. Again, full transparency, I tried to chat with a few other people I know who make content for YouTube, and they said they experienced a similar thing. I saw some bigger creators, much bigger creators, talk about the same thing too. But again, there's no concrete proof. It just could be the stuff I made in April wasn't as enjoyable as the stuff I made in March, and that's okay. And then as we've come into May, I've really started to feel that burnout, because essentially now here I've got myself 2 jobs that are casual, sure, but you know, you have to plan when you're going to work for them and stuff like that. So I've got that to think about in the calendar. I'm planning a trip with Becca to Eurovision this year over in Switzerland, which has been many months in the making, don't get me wrong, but at the time I'm recording this, you know, we fly really, really soon. So I've been trying to get everything for that organized, you know, the Swiss currency, make sure hotel bookings are all right, flights, etc. You know, and that in itself, planning a holiday, takes up a lot of time. And then just trying to, like I've said before in the years gone by, just trying to live life, you know, trying to do things outside of work, outside of YouTube if I can. We, you know, me and Becca, we try and do things together when we can. But being as we're both creatives, that can be, on occasion, quite difficult because we're always looking or doing some work. And I think even though I have been able to be consistent throughout 2025 so far on YouTube, getting to the crux of it now, you know, I've been posting on average every 2 or 3 days. And I think it has just taken its toll. I have also launched another channel, a new channel, ESC Adam, which is about all things Eurovision. And as you can imagine, with it being Eurovision season, I've dedicated quite a lot of time to that. Me and Becca have recently just finished reviewing every single song, their little bite-sized 4 or 5 minute videos. So again, if you're a fan or if you just want to help support, please go over there and hit subscribe. We'd love to try and hit 1,000 subscribers before we go over to Basel in a matter of days. Not sure whether we're going to do it, but your support would be great. I think we're about just shy of 300 off that goal, so if you wouldn't mind going over and hitting subscribe, that would really mean a lot. Obviously, that takes up a lot of time, and people said to me when I launched it,
oh, well, what about the other channels you launched and abandoned?
I think the thing with Eurovision is, the benefit of it is it's a seasonal thing, you know. Pretty much I'd say from January to May up until the contest broadcast, that's a good steady stream of content you can make. And in the off months, you know, say between June and December, you can either post less content, there's not as much news. So I feel that's how ESC Adam is going to survive beyond the contest this year. That's my plan for it anyway. But essentially, between doing that, between working 2 jobs, between trying to plan this trip, between trying to, you know, get everything sorted with the house, it has just burnt me out a little bit. And it's a shame because I always thought if I was going to have the big burnout, it would be solely from doing YouTube. And YouTube has played a part in that, but it's not the sole factor. There's just a lot of things happening in life, and it's important, I think, for me, myself, to recognize that and to speak that aloud, really. So what does that mean going forward? Well, you'll be pleased to know I'm not totally abandoning YouTube. I don't think I'd want to do that even if I was burnt out. So no, the channels aren't going anywhere. Like I said with ESC Adam, there's going to be content on that. I'm planning to do some filming when I'm out in Basel in Switzerland. So if you head over there might be some videos around that time. We'll have to wait and see. But in terms of this channel, like I said, this year so far, I've been posting every sort of 2 to 3 days. I want to try and take it a bit more easier than that. So the gaps between videos might be longer. And do you know what? If I have an idea that sprouts, or if I have time to get something done, you may get a video every 2 days or every 3 days or whatever it is. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to put less pressure on myself to maintain this sort of rigid schedule, which is exactly what YouTube wants, right? YouTube wants you to be uber consistent. They want you to post as regularly as they can, etc. But I feel for me right here, right now, that isn't the case. Full disclaimer as well, like I'm fine in myself. I'm not in a bad place or anything like that. I just think I'm starting to feel a bit of a burnout from everything going on, and I need to steady the ship, as it were. I need to take time for myself to sort of pace things out a little bit. So I hope that you watching can understand that, and hopefully will support me in that decision as well. But like I said, content will still come. I have plans for the future. I have a few ideas. I still maintain the ITV digital video will come out in 2025. I haven't forgotten it. It will happen. But with that, you know, if you would like to support, there's many ways in which you can do that. Like I said at the start, you can leave a like on the video. That really helps. Also your comments as well. Let me know your thoughts. But also, if you want to support us in a financial sense, you can become a YouTube member, and you can get your name read out at the end of videos, or you can support us over on Patreon. We have a few different tiers. In terms of benefits, I don't really have many physical benefits to offer, apart from maybe a video posted early on the Patreon side. But it's just more of a show of support. And don't get me wrong, I'm not financially destitute. This isn't me e-begging you for all the money you have. It's just saying if you want to support me in that way, you're more than welcome to. It's not an obligation. You don't have to. It's your life. It's your choice. It's your money. But I'm just letting you know that the options are there should you wish to. But to be honest, the support that you've shown me and the channel through 2025 so far, you know, the growth we've had, the success we've had on various videos as well, it's, as ever, it's really been humbling, really been lovely to see, and I can only hope that going forward we can keep pushing that growth forward, that we don't stagnate, and we achieve some new sites on the channel that we haven't had yet. But that is pretty much the bulk of this video. Like I said, I just wanted to address, you know, say it to camera, say it to you, that I am burnt out, and I just need to take a bit more time between videos than there has been, just to try and mitigate that with everything else that's going on in life. But aside from that, I'm all good. The channel's all good. The channel's not going anywhere, but I did feel it was quite important to sort of make this video and speak about it. That's it. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. Let me know your comments down below. Again, subscribe to the channel. Go and subscribe to ESC Adam as well. That would really, again, help me and Becca out, help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers before we go over to Switzerland. That would mean a lot. But in the meantime, I've been Adam Martin from AMTV. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Thank you to our patrons for helping to support the show, and a special thank you to Macra, Shaun Knock, Daud Khan, Liam De-Maine, Ajmac 200017, Deck, Jen, Traffy, Evan Hart 42 Radio, Tim Ripley, Mr. Eurovision 1986, Marnanel Thurman, 40-something Manchild, Jerry Ralph, John McLeod, James Wallace, Stephen Oliver, Shadowtheme 180X, Swan Ronson, Adam Gamer, Sir Fonzie Daz, Seraphic Euphoria, Real Random, Matthew Elliff, Pigeon's House, Shah H, Dave Batten, and Real Team Foxy Plays, our AMTV staff members.